House Democrats' first order of business is to consolidate power through the reintroduced H.R. 1 bill. This bill is a campaign and finance bill that would cement Democrat political power by restricting political opposition. This bill would enact California-style election rules nationwide, including requiring states to automatically register voters based on state and federal databases such as the DMV or welfare programs, as well as mandate same-day online voter registration while expanding mail-in voting. H.R. 1 will also assist in the continued effort to silence conservatives by requiring nonprofits to disclose the names of donors who give more than $10,000, which in turn allows the left to publicly stigmatize donors. But as if this wasn't bad enough, in addition to H.R. 1, another bill has also been introduced at the same time that would provide statehood to the District of Columbia, which would ensure Democrats 2 more Senate seats. Together, these 2 bills would guarantee the Democrats complete control. With me now to discuss from the Heritage Foundation is Hans von Spakovsky. Welcome back, Hans.
Thanks for having me.
Great. So lots to unpack here. So let's start with this. California has been a one-party blue state for many years now. Is that what Democrats want to replicate nationwide with this bill?
It is. This bill would be basically a federal takeover of the administration of elections. And the whole reason for that is so that they can, frankly, manipulate the rules and make it easier to cheat. I mean, another example of this is this federal law would override and ban any state voter ID law. Now, the only reason for that is to decrease the security of the election process.
It also concerned me that I saw that this would also inhibit in many ways and restrict the state's abilities to clean and to purge their voter rolls as well.
No, that's right. That's another very damaging provision in there. Look, voter rolls right now are in bad shape. This would make it even worse. For example, almost totally restricting and preventing states from comparing their statewide voter registration lists with other states to find people who are registered in more than one state.
And of course, these past few months, we've heard a lot from President Trump's team about election fraud. But one of the bigger issues, even than that, if we can believe it, is since the midterms 2018, Democrats, especially headed by Mark Elias, the Clinton dossier lawyer, he was spearheading hundreds of challenges, election challenges to change election laws in states from coast to coast. And of course, we're seeing now House Democrats are trying to do it from the Capitol as well. Is that where a lot of our focus should be these next 4 years, is really cleaning up these election laws?
It is. I mean, like right now, state legislatures are starting their sessions all over the country. They need to be fixing the problems in their election laws. But the problem is, if H.R. 1 is passed, no matter what they do the right way in the state legislatures will get overridden by this very bad federal law. This is without doubt one of the worst federal bills I've ever seen.
And for us lay people who may not understand the legalities behind it, I thought that states, they had full control over their election processes, and yet we see Congress now trying to federally mandate. What's going on there?
Right. Well, in fact, that's true. States have, for a very long time, been allowed to administer their elections, including federal elections. Here, Congress is trying to take that over. And to give you just another quick example of this, look, whether or not, when felons are allowed to get their right to vote back under the Constitution, the 14th Amendment, that's entirely up to the states. And yet this bill would automatically give felons the right to vote back the moment they're out of prison, trying to override the 14th Amendment and state rules. That is clearly unconstitutional.
So much to think about here, but when we look at it, left-wing groups, for example, that they're now one of the biggest recipients of dark money, of money that you don't really know necessarily who's the one spending it and who's giving it. And yet we see House Democrats are pushing in this H.R. 1 bill. They want donors known over $10,000. Is that really for transparency reasons?
No, it's so they can harass and intimidate organizations that they don't like. Look, this is very much the same kind of thing that happened back in the late 50s when states like Alabama tried to force the NAACP to reveal who their donors were. It's because they wanted those donors harassed and intimidated, and prevented from giving money to the NAACP. This is the modern version of that.
Hans, I always enjoy your insight. Thank you so much for breaking it all down for us tonight.